Oh, hi. Glad you're here. I'm glad to be with you. Welcome to the 90s. The most influential, life impacting, life changing films in my life, to me, that came out in the year 1990. The year I turned 7. Yeah. Growing up in the 90s was awesome. I'm so thankful I got to grow up in the 90s. It was awesome. First up, Dick Tracy. Let me tell you a little story. We were in Colorado looking for a house. I think I said this last video. Maybe I got the year slightly off. Or maybe, no, wait. It might have been after we moved to Colorado, but we had to stay at a hotel for a little bit before our house was ready. One or the other. All I remember is I was in a hotel, and my dad was there, and I was like, where is mom and my brothers? And he said they went to a movie, and I said, what movie? And they said Dick Tracy. And I was very mad because I wanted to see Dick Tracy, and I remember having cereal like Fruit Loops or something, and this was like he was like, let's celebrate your birthday or something, I think, because let me tell you a little story. Dick Tracy came out on June 15th, my birthday. Dick Tracy came out on my 7th birthday, and I didn't even get to see it. It's not every year a movie comes out on your birthday, period, much less a movie you want to see. You know, because movies come out on Fridays, or Wednesdays, or Thursdays. And that's only 3 of every 7 years. It's not very good odds. If a movie ever comes out on your birthday, go see it. Or, you know, that you want to see. Because that's a big deal. Because it's not, yeah. Especially, like, imagine if your birthday was on leap year, February 29th. And one day a movie you wanted to see came out on February 29th. That would be crazy. Because that'd be really, really, really rare. In fact, I believe next year's leap year should be on a Thursday, which would be the early premieres of the movies that are coming out that Friday, March 1st. So keep your eyes and ears open. Whatever movies come out on March 1st, 2024, you can see on leap year. Anyway, that was my Dick Tracy story. I do like that movie. I remember when I first saw it, and Madonna was wearing a see-through top, and she had nice boobies. Plus, there's a part. Check this out. Maybe it's on. I know I posted it somewhere at some point. If you can't find it like a clip, you can find it in the movie somewhere. It's a good movie. It's a good time. I want Tracy dead. Al Pacino's very underrated in that film. There's a part where Dick Tracy jumps from a building. It's clearly a stuntman, but Dick Tracy jumps from a building to a lamp post to shimmy down the lamp post to safety. But that poor stunt guy, I wish I could get this story from him. Because, and they kept it in the film, because he like kind of over aggressively does the jump. Like, I'm sure the stunt didn't go perfectly. He jumps on the lamppost so forcefully that he slams his head and face into it, and it like whiplashes really hard. It's hilarious, but also kind of tragic, because it's like, dude, that must have hurt your face really bad. Damn right you better use it in the film. I'd be like, you guys are using that, because my face is broken for the rest of production. Anyway, it's a good time. So that came out on my birthday. Gee, what do you know? And then in July of 1990, there was a movie called Ghost. I'm only mentioning this movie because I remember seeing it as a young child. I didn't see all these in theaters, but I do remember when I did see Ghost on television or VHS, whatever it was, at home. The bad guy gets killed by a giant pane of glass, and then shadow demon spirits come take him away. That traumatized me as a very young person. And ever since, I've been afraid of giant panes of glass that could stab me and kill me and slice me in half. So that left an impact on me. Also in July of 1990 was a film called Arachnophobia. I had arachnophobia most of my life. I'll go through a couple of these stories real quick. The cool thing about that movie, which is a classic, I love that movie. Today and age, whether it's Eight-Legged Freaks or anything made today, everything's CG. Everything's CG. Everything's CG. Why? Because it can be, and it's easier and it's more convenient. You don't have to deal with this. You don't have to deal with that. But arachnophobia was made with real spiders. Trained spiders. I've seen behind the scenes stuff. These are trained spiders. But arachnophobia was made with real spiders. That's crazy. Sure, there's one or two that are, giant animatronics or whatever the heck. But for the most part, these are real spiders. F that. I'd be like, sign me out. Very masterfully crafted film. Great movie. But my oldest brother was having some lady friends over one night, and they rented Arachnophobia. So my father took me to the mall and took me to I think it was some kind of joke gag toy store, because they had these things for some odd reason wherever we got them. He found a bunch of fake spiders. I'm like, why are we buying all these fake spiders? He's like, you'll see. So while Mark and his little lady friends were out before they came back to watch said movie, my father and I hid fake spiders all over the place. Specific places that we knew people would go, like the kitchen and the cupboards. The best one, though, was, you got your toilet seat, you lift your toilet seat. He put them under the toilet seat so that when you lifted the toilet seat. I wanted to stay up to experience the prank, but my dad was like, you gotta go to bed, sorry, because it was, past my bedtime or whatever. But I'll never forget, I couldn't sleep, obviously. I was trying to hear as best I could. And I remember hearing one young lady talking about how she was going to go to the bathroom. My poster fell. She was going to go to the bathroom. And I was all giddy. And sure enough, almost immediately after she went into that bathroom, I hear screams coming. And there was a couple of points throughout the night where we heard screams left and right, because when you see that, you get paranoid. Kind of like if you have arachnophobia, if you see one spider, you get that sensation, that feeling that they're everywhere, all around you. I remember that. One time I did see a spider as a young child, and it got away. So I told my dad I was running away, and I wasn't coming back unless he called an exterminator, and I had $100 allowance. I said I'd pay for the exterminator. But luckily I got over my arachnophobia. Ironically enough, see that? When I was bitten by a brown recluse. It's a hobo spider. Brown recluse is probably one of the most poisonous spiders in North America. So I got bit, and I went to the doctor. Well, I didn't know what it was at the time, but I went to the doctor, and my doctor got all excited and started taking pictures and was like, oh my gosh, that's a brown recluse bite. I've never seen a brown recluse bite. That's awesome. And I was like, that's not awesome. He's like, hey, don't worry about it. And I was like, is that not? I thought a brown recluse was deadly. Like, my mother got bit once on the back and it left a big mark. It depends on where you get bit or how old you are. If you're elderly or an infant, it could be a lot more dangerous. And if you get bit on the face, it can do some real damage. All of this my doctor explained to me. He said, for the most part, though, that's what's going to happen. I think mainly I have that scar is so severe because one of my manager bosses at the time thought it'd be funny to flick it while it was a horrible scab healing with his big fat sausage fingers. I should have sued him for that. Freaking jerk. It hurt really bad and left a more permanent scar. But anyway, ever since that, and I was like, well, what about Black Widow? He's like, yeah, same deal. It's like, it can do some damage, and it might be deadly if you're elderly or an infant, but for the most part, there's no such thing as a deadly spider in North America. Sure, you go to Australia, you better look the heck out. But in North America, no such thing. So I pretty much got bit and survived the deadliest spider I would ever come across. And something about that, psychologically, made me not really care about spiders anymore and not be scared. Like, when I was younger, if I saw a spider, I had to get rid of it or I wouldn't be able to sleep. But I couldn't get near it in fear that it would jump on me and I would die or something. How the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. So I'd always have to use a long pole or something, and if it was on the ceiling, oh no, it fell, and oh, get up. But now I can just, like my dad, like it would always blow my mind that my dad could just grab a tissue and just throw it away. But now that's me. Now I'm dad, and I can just kill a spider, no problem. Anyway, Arachnophobia, good time. Also in what is July? Ah, uh, in August of 1990, Young Guns 2 came out. The first Young Guns came out 2 years prior in '88. You can check out my '88 video. I love both Young Guns films. They were my first introduction to westerns. Yada yada yada. I could quote both of them left and right. I love Young Guns, but honestly, I think the second one is even better than the first. I absolutely love the second film, and like Billy the Kid's escape from custody and this and that and the bookends, and of course there was that big Bon Jovi song out down in a blaze of glory, and oh, I love Young Guns, but Young Guns 2 even more so. And my brothers and I, we grew up like the Young Guns 1 and 2 was our one and only western. Like there was no other westerns. It was just Young Guns. Love those movies. I will mention Goodfellas. Classic, one of my favorite Scorsese films. Great film, obviously. But I'll mention it simply because I finally saw it for the first time, probably when I was a teenager. And it led to my first ever list of the 10 greatest movies of all time. Which is a big deal because it was my first time ever making a list like that. Now I have a list of the 10, or excuse me, I have a list of the greatest movies I've ever seen, because there's no such thing as the greatest movies of all time when art is subjective and we can't see every single movie. So it's the greatest movies I've ever seen. You can find it on Letterboxd at Paul Charman, Charman, a little picture of Captain Murphy from Sealab 2021, if you're interested. But now it's a list of 40-some films, I think. And Goodfellas is on there, but it changes quite a bit throughout the years. But the first list I ever made, Goodfellas, was number 1. At the time, when I was a teenager, I felt Goodfellas was the greatest movie of all time. It had a big impact on me. Honestly, I think as far as Scorsese goes, my favorite, I'll say, not the best. Again, art is subjective. But my favorite Scorsese film is The Departed. Oh, The Departed is an absolute masterpiece. Then we have Predator 2. Predator 2, I was so obsessed with Predator 2. Predator 2 was my favorite Predator film, period, the end. I don't care what anybody says. Predator 1, classic. Yeah, great. Who cares? I'll take Danny Glover and Bill Paxton, rest in peace, and a concrete jungle any day. I was obsessed with the edited cable TV version of Predator 2 that I recorded onto my own VHS tape and watched over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, there's an alien skull in it, for goodness sake. I love Predator 2. Predator 2 is the bee's knees. I kind of want to watch it right now just thinking about it. I haven't seen that movie in so long. I love Predator 2. That was one of my early obsessions with, like, this movie's amazing. I mean, it starts with a friggin' drug lord gunfight. You have all these subplots going on. You got, what's his name? The crazy guy from Point Break. Oh, Gary. What's his name? Great when you go to like look something up. It's the act of about to look it up that your brain goes, no, we're good. I've got my own search engine. Stop relying on Google. I went to look it up and it popped in my head. Gary Busey. It's got Gary Busey, and he's in this great role, and he's look out for the meat locker, and I love Predator 2. Love it. Think it's great. Fantastic film. It's got a spaceship. Oh, and that one, the one line I would always quote from Predator 2 is when he sees the kid, and Predator doesn't kill pregnant ladies or children, and he sees the kid, and the kid sees him, and he's like, want some candy? But then later in the movie, the Predator is like going through his like resources of audio that he has on file, and it's like, want some candy? Anyway, I really like Predator 2. But the number one most impactful, influential, life-changing film of my life that came out in the year 1990, came out in March, and it was the original live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That movie was astounding, especially to us kids. I remember seeing it in a theater with a bunch of kids, some kind of group event or maybe something school related. I don't know. I just remember being in the front row, and we were all in the front row, and a lot of us were running around like crazy back when people didn't give a crap because going to the movies was such anyway. I remember pizza. There was oh man, Ninja Turtles, and the whole like the movie opens with Raphael saying "damn" over and over, and we're like, whoa, dude, he keeps saying "damn." I hope we don't get in trouble for watching this. And April O'Neil, I kind of had a crush on her. I did like that. I like both April O'Neils, but I think I like that one better. She's something about her. And Casey, I almost said Casey Kasem. Casey Jones. Casey Jones was the ultimate. Raphael in disguise fighting Casey Jones. Casey Jones, and the actor who played Casey Jones, who didn't come back until the third one, he is a great actor that I'm a huge fan of. So much so I have no idea what his name is. But I love the actor who played Casey Jones in the first and third films. The other thing that comes to mind is a movie called Novocaine, starring Steve Martin. Look it up. Look up Novocaine. Oh, I'll make you look it up. I'll say things like, what's her name? And what's his name? Watch this. Here's how it's happened again. I went to grab the phone and it went, nope, her name is Helena Bonham Carter. Helena Bonham Carter is in Novocaine. Laura Dern is in Novocaine. Oh, no, we're going to talk about that movie in the year it came out, so I'm going to shut up now. But the guy who played Casey Jones was in it, and it's an amazing film. So I like Casey Jones. The original Ninja Turtles just had such a huge impact on me and everybody else. Honestly, the second and third one had bigger impacts on me, which I'm sure we'll be discussing sooner than later. But I will mention the first one, specifically because the biggest impact it had on me, aside from things like go, play, or oops, that's probably the best thing, that's Casey Jones, the best thing anyone's ever said while murdering someone. When, spoiler alert, Shredder falls into the garbage truck, and Casey Jones just turns on the crusher in the garbage truck while saying, oops! That's freaking comedy. And one of the first, if not the first, appearance from a young gentleman named Sam Rockwell. He's got like 2 lines, and he's just one of the Foot Clan gang kids. Academy Award winning Sam Rockwell, excuse me. But Sam Rockwell, what are you waiting for? Let's get him! Yeah. That movie is such a gem. If you haven't seen it or haven't seen it in a very long time, you should watch it. It is a delight. But there was one part that creeped the crap out of me when like Leonardo is trying to reach out through the force or something to Splinter, and Splinter is all like being captive and being beat the crap out of. So you've got like this giant rat that's all bloody and sweaty and beat up, and they have like this close-up shot when Leonardo's trying to reach out to him, and all of a sudden you see Splinter and he's like, Leonardo, like scared the crap out of me. I was like, no, ew, gross, get out of my face, you filthy rat. But, okay, all of that said, this was the first time long before the internet where now you might get teases of things to come, or little hints, or little clues, or what's down the line. Long before the internet, my friend had a poster for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, okay? It wasn't the poster you might think of with the city and all of them looking out in the sewer grate thing. Not that one. It was an art poster. It was officially for the movie, but it was an art style because it was based on a comic book, obviously. So it was an art picture that an artist did of the 4 turtles in an alley, just with their weapons, like looking cool in a cool stance. And behind them, because they were in an alley in New York, was a brick wall, plastered all kinds of like paper and ads and, like might be on the wall in New York of flyers and stuff like that. And you could make out like some graffiti and another flyer. And my friend said, "You guys got to see this. There's something on this poster that I think is teasing something, that it's a secret that only we with this poster would know." And we're like, "What are you talking about?" And he takes us into his room. He's like, "Look, if you look closely on the poster, you can look it up. Look up original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, the movie posters, and I'm sure you'll find it. Like I said, it's the four of them in an alley, and there's stuff behind them. You'll see behind them a giant 2, the number 2, and then next to it, like on other pieces of paper or something, parchments and flyers, the words is coming." And we made out like it was a freaking Moriarty puzzle. 2 is coming. Blew our collective adolescent minds. We thought we were in on the most secretive inside scoop info on the planet. Because that poster was the first and only inkling at the time that they were indeed, for real, working on a sequel. Which they were. So I will always cherish that memory. Especially in today and age when, yeah, we know exactly how many freaking sequels are coming the second something's freaking announced in 10 years freaking advance. "Oh, this movie did really well opening weekend. We're making 3 sequels. And then we're going to cancel one because nobody cared. And then this and that." Yeah, things aren't what they were back in the 90s. Back in the 90s, life was golden. And I stayed gold because I'm Ponyboy. We talked about that in one of the other ones. The 1983 video about The Outsiders and how I'm Ponyboy. Anyway, the 90s. This is merely the beginning. Okie dokie.